Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
I've been able to live my normal lifestyle, and I've lost 20 pounds already. It changed my life.
I wasn't expecting it to shut off the food noise. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to trylifemd.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at trylifemd.com. That's trylifemd.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Real Life Real Crime Daily for Monday, March 12th, and I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. Hey guys.
Hello.
Monday.
How was the cement pond this weekend?
Very, very nice.
What, you didn't like that question?
No. I was thinking that all the alcohol was drank and Traeger was fired, and it was love.
You started on the moat?
Actually, we did successfully cut a path down to the beach there.
Okay. So moat, not a necessity immediately, but it's next.
The backside has a 40-foot cliff on the river. So that's protected. And
that could be
has its own beach too.
That could be the Overton train station then.
That's right. It could be. Or Murder Bayou.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to get into some crime
time
quickly today. And
there was none this weekend. Couldn't believe it.
The whole world.
Everybody just took the weekend off. Nobody did anything.
Nobody did anything.
Nobody robbed anybody. Nobody killed anyone. It's great.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how that fits. Okay.
Maybe there was some crime.
I'm pretty sure that's job security forever.
At the current pace, anyway.
All right. A beating death victim has been identified as the father of an officer killed in Baton Rouge in a 2016 ambush. The Baton Rouge Police Department is investigating the beating death of a man outside the Triple S Food Mart on North Foster Drive near Fairfields Avenue in Baton Rouge. Not the best part of town. Wouldn't you agree?
Same deal where Alton Sterling was.
Yeah, so according to police, Hosea Jackson, 63, was physically assaulted on Thursday. Family members confirmed that Hosea Jackson is the father of slain BRPD Corporal Montel Jackson, one of the officers that was killed in the 2016 law enforcement ambush in Baton Rouge. Hosea Jackson was rushed to the hospital and died as a result of his injuries. Baton Rouge Police Department said autopsy results ruled Jackson's death a homicide because of injuries to his head and neck area. A motive and suspect are unknown as of this time. Just a horrible situation. Yeah. And if you're from this area, one of the worst police tragedies.
It was the worst ever, and probably in the state of Louisiana, one in the nation. But on that note, Montrell, who was killed, basically executed that day. His son, shout out to Billy Amy, Baton Rouge City cop. He doesn't have any children, and he acts as a surrogate dad, father figure to all the surviving officers' kids. And Montrell's son, just last week, Billy sent me a picture of Montrell's son riding with him, and it was his birthday or something, and Billy was taking it. But Billy dresses up for, like in Batman or whatever favorite superheroes, and goes to birthday parties and takes them out and does things like that. So, and then now this kid's grandfather's dead too. Just sad, whatever.
Praying for the family.
Yeah. So let me tell you about another crime that BRPD is investigating it. And the Baton Rouge Police Department has actually made an arrest after a video surfaced showing a 5-year-old boy smoking while riding in a vehicle with an adult male. Police say, it gets better. Police say they believe the child was smoking marijuana. John Hall, 48, was booked into East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for contributing to the delinquency of juveniles, distribution and possession with intent to distribute weed, and illegal use of a controlled dangerous substance in the presence of a person under 17. Police say the suspect used to date one of the boy's relatives. And the video was sent to police by a concerned citizen, and Baton Rouge PD Corporal Sandra Watts says they were able to confirm the matter after reviewing the video. She said, we were able to positively identify Mr. Hall as the person seen in the video passing that suspected marijuana blunt to a 5-year-old juvenile who was puffing and pulling on the marijuana blunt. When we have individuals like this that are forcing children to partake in illegal substances, we want the public to know that they can reach out to us, provide us with information, and we'll bring that person to justice. And this is not the first time this same child has fallen into a dangerous situation. Police confirmed the 5-year-old was the same little boy who was badly hurt a few weeks ago with another child when an AK-47 went off in a home where the lady was supposed to be watching him, right? Crazy. I mean, come on, man. 5 years old. Puff, puff, pass for the 5-year-old. What the fuck?
And the AK-47 a couple of weeks, that was the same.
Yep, same 5-year-old, and he was hurt when the AK-47 goes off in the home. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a big gun advocate and everything else, and I actually have an AK-47. Shout out to Shane McBride and Rich for helping me acquire that one. But there really is no reason to hunt with an AK-47 or whatever. It's a 7.62 millimeter, and it's made for killing. And I don't know.
Is there anything you hunt with that gun?
I mean, you could hunt anything in the world.
No, but have you ever taken it out on a hunt?
No, in fact, it's not made for that.
So it's for sport. It's
for self-defense.
Okay.
In my case, you come on my place, and you're going to spring lots of leaks.
But if there's a 5-year-old on the premises, they do not have a path to getting toward that weapon.
Exactly.
God.
Crazy.
We're going to have a 5-year-old who's no longer
weed
living.
with the 5-year-old rolling down the road, puff, puff, pass, and the kids doing it, so it's not the first time. I mean, it's the culture that the kids raised in, evidently, but somebody needs to have their ass beat.
Wow. Let's go to Australia. We haven't.
The land down under. Shout out to all our Aussie fans.
And
A lot of them.
This is an incredible story. I'm not quite sure what to make of this story, and look forward to hearing your impressions from it, you guys. An Australian mom was convicted of killing 4 babies.
Oh, my God.
But she's been pardoned after 20 years in prison. New South Wales Attorney General Michael Daly said that Kathleen Folbig has been granted a, quote, unconditional pardon and will be released from jail without delay based upon preliminary findings of a review into her conviction that found, quote, reasonable doubt as to her guilt for all 4 of the deaths. There is reasonable doubt as to Ms. Folbig's guilt of the manslaughter of her child Caleb, the infliction of grievous bodily harm on her child Patrick, and the murder of her children Patrick, Sarah, and Laura, Daly said in the news conference. I should tell you right now, these children, 4 of them, died in separate incidents. They did not die together.
Really?
Folbig was pardoned based on new scientific evidence that her 4 children died by natural causes.
Wow.
The review was conducted by the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, of New South Wales. His name is Thomas Bathurst. Folbig, who's now 55, was found guilty way back in 2003 of smothering her children, Caleb, Patrick, Sarah, and Laura, and doing so before each of their second birthdays. She reportedly found them one after another, lifeless in their cribs. She was sentenced to 40 years in prison for murder and manslaughter with a non-parole period of 30 years. The 4 children died separately between 1989 and 1999. They were aged between 19 days, that was the youngest age at the point one died, to 19 months. So 4 straight kids of this mother all died between the age of 19 days and 19 months. There has been a terrible ordeal. This has been a terrible ordeal for everyone concerned, and I hope that our actions today can put some closure on this 20-year-old matter, said the judge. He added that Craig Folbig, who is the baby's father, had also been informed about the decision. I'm thinking of him today as well. Daley confirmed that Clarence Correctional Center, where Folbig was serving her sentence, had been instructed to look after her following the decision. They thought that she might be in some danger. I think we've all put ourselves in Miss Folbig's shoes and let her now have the space that she needs to get on with her life and not to harass her or pursue her in any way, he said. This has been a 20-year-long ordeal for her, and she's not out already. And if she's not out already, she soon will be, and we wish her well the rest of her life. Folbig was subsequently released from the Clarence Correctional Center shortly after 11 a.m. local time. A news conference was held, and at that news conference, Daley said that Folbig's convictions had not been quashed. Quote, the only body that can do that is the Court of Criminal Appeal. The effect of a pardon is that she will not have to serve the rest of her sentence. So it doesn't undo the conviction, but it takes away the rest of her sentence. In 2021, a group of 90 scientists submitted a petition to pardon Folbig for what they call a miscarriage of justice. Quote, there is no medical evidence to support the prosecution's case that Folbig smothered each of her children, the scientists argued. Instead, the group said they believed that the babies may have died of genetic causes. In 2018, geneticists found that both Sarah and Laura had a genetic mutation in the COM2 gene, which can cause sudden death in infants and children, according to the petition. They're still working to determine if there is strong genetic link to the boys' deaths. An autopsy performed at the time of the death showed that Patrick, who died at 8 months, suffered from epilepsy. His death was attributed to airway obstruction due to a seizure and an infection. Caleb's death at just 19 days was reported as SIDS death, a sudden infant death syndrome. In the petition, the scientists argued that Folbig's conviction is based in part on the discredited theory coined, quote, Meadows' Law, which assumes that the likelihood of more than 2 children from one family dying of genetic causes is so unlikely that there must be foul play involved. So the evidence they convicted her on is that it couldn't be a coincidence that this many of her children died so young. This guy who works with children suffering rare and fatal disabilities was one of the 90 experts to sign the petition. He explained that this is no longer a scientifically supported theory. So the Meadows Law thing that got Folbig convicted originally is no longer a scientifically supported theory. But man, it's just hard to think that one mother could have 4 kids all died. I mean, if they truly were accidental deaths, it's one of the most horrible things I've ever heard. And this poor woman who spends 20 years, but at the same time, it's awfully hard to think.
As old homicide guy, I would have gone after her too. I mean, you know, but I've worked way too many of the babies that die. You know, I don't think they call it SIDS anymore. But either it's the greatest case of injustice I've ever heard of, or they just bleeding hearts that got her out. I don't know. I have to have more.
Well, and what they did was this ruling that they made was sort of we think we might have effed up, and so we're going to let you out now. but we're not. What do they call it? They call it quash. We're not quashing the original charges. So we're not declaring you officially innocent. Right. We're pardoning you and releasing you.
In case we got it wrong.
Crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. This is one of the strangest things I've ever heard.
A Florida mom is accused of leaving her 2 kids in a car that caused fire while she was allegedly shoplifting. Alicia Moore, 24, was arrested and now faces 2 felony charges for the May 26 incident. According to police, both of the Orlando residents' children, whose ages are unknown, survived the fire, but one suffered first-degree burns. Moore's car, a 2016 Lincoln, was parked at the mall where she was allegedly shoplifting from Dillard's with an unknown male when her vehicle caught fire. Moore dropped the merchandise and fled the department store when she saw that her car was engulfed in flames. Both children were eventually able to leave the burning vehicle and receive care at a nearby hospital thanks to bystanders. The arrest states that one of Moore's children suffered multiple first-degree burns on her face and ears before she was able to escape. Police arrested Moore on an outstanding warrant unrelated to the mall incident and charged her with both arson and aggravated child neglect. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Moore contributed to the injuries her children obtained because the fire occurred during the commission of a felony by Moore. Moore entered a not guilty plea, and her bond is set at $20,000. And I didn't know that you could tie someone committing a crime and if your children are injured during that time.
Well, it's kind of
I wasn't
like a bank
aware
robbery. They wouldn't have been there in the car, caught on fire. If she had not been doing what she was doing. That's what we're saying. So I get that, but that's weird. And I want us to do a follow up on this because I want to know how in the hell can you charge someone with arson when they weren't even in a car to start the fire? I don't know. Maybe she left a cigarette burner or something. If a cigarette nowadays burn out automatically. Did y'all know that? No. The like you used to fall asleep and burn your house down. Now, if you don't puff on it and however long they cut off.
I did not know that.
That's true. I knew this because I got these pipes. All right, let's move on to the next story. In Sturgis, South Dakota, Wade Allen, 39, was sentenced yesterday after pleading no contest to charges in connection to the murder and mutilation, like shit business, of his girlfriend, as well as the sexual assault of a fellow inmate once in custody. Allen is sentenced to 39 to 60 years imprisonment for second-degree homicide and 2 to 5 years for attempted dismemberment and mutilation, business, and 38 months to 5 years for attempted third-degree criminal sexual conduct that he'll serve consecutive. He was arrested in May of 2019 after Sturgis police officers responded to a tip regarding the murder and dismemberment of Allen's girlfriend. And searching Allen's apartment, officers located the mutilated remains of Allen's girlfriends being stored in 2 coolers. When in jail, Allen spoke to his cellmates about having strangled his girlfriend to the point of death. After finding out that cellmates had passed this information on to authorities, Allen sexually assaulted one of the inmates when they were rehoused.
Oh, my God.
Great guy. Hey, we need to start a
He said he's going to get his
Match.com for people that do the same crimes in prison. This guy can hook up.
Well, the craziest.
That's a good angle, right?
The craziest thing about that is he 39 to 60 years. So he's going to serve a little over half of that, possibly, for mutilating and dismembering someone.
Yeah. Crazy.
It should be life.
I talked about this before. It's hard to dismember somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes.
You got to have those double hefty bags, like
right. If it's not the storage part, I'm talking about the actually cutting off the limbs and shit.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Got to have the right equipment.
Yeah, and know what you're doing, or just have the wheel. Where there's
You're scaring me, Woody.
I'm thinking of all the animals that I dismember, but
so you do have some of that right equipment.
Oh, I have all the equipment. Don't hey,
no, but when you're doing,
hey, Mike, why don't you come over to North? We'll
Should I bring
introduce you to
some
murder
Chianti?
body.
That's something I want to show you.
Bring a nice red.
We won't put you on the Traeger there.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to bring a bodyguard with me if I ever go over
You
there.
need to hire that black Talon service here, Talon from Atlanta. Come in the bulletproof car with a gun-toting driver.
I saw another story about that company the other day. I would ask you guys if you'd ever been to Saudi Arabia, but I know neither of you have ever left Louisiana. So I'll just go on with my next story, which is about Saudi Arabia executing a Nepalese man.
For stealing yoga pants.
What's that? I don't know. Let's see if yoga pants were involved. Though yoga pants would be a serious offense in Saudi Arabia.
I bet they don't let them run free in Saudi Arabia from the stores. They kill them immediately.
I guarantee you. We actually have.
They train their employees in
fans from
Saudi Arabia. Yeah, they train their employees in Saudi Arabia to kill them in the store for stealing a piece of bubblegum.
Okay, I'll look that up. I think that's a distinct.
worth it.
I think that's a distinct possibility, but I don't know that.
We know what they do to reporters they get in their embassies.
What I do know is that on Thursday they executed this Nepali national after his conviction for stabbing a Saudi to death. The state-run Saudi press agency reported on the execution of Santa Bahadur Pune, saying it took place in the kingdom's
Santa Claus? They killed Santa Claus.
His name is really Santa?
Okay. I pissed these guys off before, and the rest of the rest of this show has been about the ways that they're going to get back at me because I gave them a little bit of shit. And I'm not going to let that happen. So we're just going to plow through this Saudi Arabian story regardless of how they treat me.
That was a legit question about Santa Claus, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're big into
You can't just
celebrating.
glaze over a
Santa
man
Day.
named Santa.
That makes it celebrating Christmas in Saudi Arabia.
However, Saudi Arabia typically carries out executions by beheadings.
Ooh, nice.
Saudi Arabia is one of the world's top executioners, which
No dispute over drugs there, Louisiana.
and it occasionally executes foreigners. In related news, a merger was announced between the U.S. PGA Tour and the Saudi-owned Live Tour. Since Saudi Arabia will now be the controlling shareholder, it is anticipated that certain rule changes to the way tournaments are run and scored will be forthcoming. One rumored change is that each tournament's high scorer, meaning the player with the worst score, will be beheaded in a ceremony on the 18th green at the end of each tournament. This is currently just a rumor at the moment, and the I team will stay close for any more breaking Saudi.
And there's another sneak in by Ago.
Saudi's taking over golf. Jesus.
All right.
All right, y'all. An Arkansas man says he beat a victim to death with a hammer for trying to seduce him while naked.
Oh, boy.
An Arkansas man beat another man to death with a hammer and left his body in a bathtub because he claimed the victim was trying to seduce him. Matthew Speakman, 19, is charged with murder in the first degree, theft of property, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Speakman got into an accident driving a 2009 Nissan Murano belonging to the victim, Jason Anderson, who is 49. Law enforcement at the time could not reach the owner in his home or by phone. Later, however, a hysterical woman called authorities to say Anderson was dead. She believed he had been killed because his vehicle was missing. Detectives got information about Speakman's crash while on the way to the murder scene in the town of Sulphur Rock. At the time, they found Anderson dead in a bathtub with the water still running. Deputies began to further investigate the crime scene and noticed blood cast off on the shower wall and bloody shoe prints on the floor of the living area coming from the bathroom. The victim had injuries to his head. Upon removing the deceased from the bathtub, deputies noticed a hammer handle, and 3 large rocks within the bathtub. During the course of contact, Speakman offered for the deputy to check his shoes for contraband, they wrote. The deputy did check the shoes and noticed them to have the pattern of the bloody shoe prints found inside the resident of the deceased. Speakman agreed to speak to investigators about the smoking device and use of Anderson's Nissan Murano. After filling out statements, he admitted to taking the meth smoking device from Anderson's vehicle. Yep. Investigators said they confronted him about the dead man and Speakman's shoe prints being there, and he said, "Y'all need the truth, don't y'all?" So, directly from the affidavit, Speakman stated the victim was nude and trying to seduce him into sex. He found a hammer on the coffee table, struck him in the head at least 4 times, and one time with a large set of rocks. Speakman,
which head?
It did not stipulate.
Wait, one time with a large
set of rocks. Must have been in a bag or something.
Yeah.
Speakman stated he struck the victim one time in the head in the living area, and the rest of the strikes took place after the victim crawled in the bathtub and was inside the bathtub. He stated he was defending himself, but stated Anderson stopped fighting against him after only a couple of strikes with the hammer.
You reckon?
And Speakman stated he continued to strike him in fear he would still try to have sex with him anyway. Speakman was asked if he ever thought about calling to get help for Anderson, and he said he should have, but he was afraid of jail and being in trouble.
There you go. Yeah. There you have it. Meth
make you do crazy things.
It's your business.
And he wasn't down with the sex, apparently.
Well, let me tell you about another person who has a little bit of strange sexual stuff going on, and that's a South Carolina youth pastor. Y'all, this dude needs his ass beat. He was arrested and charged last week on accusations he videotaped at least 6 different women and girls while they showered, some as young as 14 years old. The 35-year-old pastor, Daniel Mayfield, is charged with 5 counts of first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and 1 count of voyeurism. The alleged incidents date back to 2022. According to the police, some of the incidents occurred in the bathroom at the Gallinsville Baptist Church, where Mayfield was working as a student pastor. The church said leadership was made aware of the incident of moral misconduct perpetrated by one of our staff members, and Mayfield was subsequently fired. And you would never think someone you know that's like a family, because that's what our church is. It's like family. You would never think something so devastating would happen in this little circle of people. Mayfield admitted to filming one woman in the shower from outside her mother's house. He was confronted by the woman and her sister, who then called the police. She was taking a shower. She was outside the window, and saw, because he had his light on to recording her, and they got his phone, and that's when they discovered the former pastor had filmed at least 5 other young women at the church, including children. A parent of one of the alleged victims spoke during Mayfield's appearance in front of the magistrate court judge, telling the judge the families entrusted Mayfield with their children. He took advantage of them in a vulnerable situation, and this is not just a one-time deal. And I guarantee they're correct on that.
We haven't been to Florida in a while. And this story, I imagine, has been a huge story in northern Florida, in Gainesville certainly, and the areas around there, because it involves a former University of Florida football star. In fact, a former national championship winner from the 2006 team, a guy by the name of Tony Joyner, who was once captain, believe it or not, of the Florida Gators team. And teammates with Aaron Hernandez, and we all know the Aaron Hernandez story, as well as teammates with Tim Tebow.
Yep.
This story was featured.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
In, I think it's on Oxygen, the Cold Justice
that's a good, that's
television
actually
show.
A very good series.
Yeah.
That chick is fire.
For more reasons than her good looks, it's a good show.
Yeah,
and
she's not even that attractive, but she is one hell of a cold case investigator. Just a great. I don't even watch shows like that, but I stumbled upon that one, and that shit's legit. Y'all go watch it.
Well, listen to this story. So this guy's named Tony Joyner, and he was just sentenced to 25 years in prison for shooting and killing the mother of 2 young children. But this dates back to 2016.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking about a 7-year-old case. The former football star is now facing more than 2 decades in prison for murdering his girlfriend, Hazel Obando, with a gunshot to the temple on Valentine's Day back in 2016. Joyner had called the police himself, claiming he found her, she's the mother of his 2 children, murdered in their Fort Myers apartment. She was 26 at the time of her death. Joyner and Obando shared 2 young daughters together. Joyner was ordered to have no contact with the children or Obando or the Obando family ever again, which is interesting because he wasn't arrested at the time or anything like that. Joyner's 2 daughters spoke with police days after their mother's killing, telling investigators that, quote, Poppy shotted mommy, unquote, and, quote, mommy blood, unquote. So way back in 2016, they had the young children saying things like that, but I guess they just couldn't put a case together, and that's where cold justice came in. So investigators were also suspicious about Joyner's 911 call, in which they say he was acting odd, and he told the dispatcher, "I'm sorry." If he had just found his girlfriend bleeding there, why is he sorry? Fort Myers Police Sergeant Lisa Brenneman said, and that was on the Cold Justice show. But Joyner never faced charges, and for years, the ex-college football star walked free, taking a job at a local auto dealership. Then in 2019, Cold Justice began investigating Obando's murder, leading to Joyner's arrest that June at the dealership. Quote, I wanted to see in his eyes to see if there was any indication of remorse, but there wasn't any, said Fort Myers Police Detective Melissa Langdon, who interrogated Joyner. One thing bringing in Cold Justice allowed us to do was to spend 9 days, almost like a blitz attack, working nothing but the case, Brenneman told reporters when she was announcing Joyner's arrest. It's a luxury we don't often have because of fresh cases and other things like that. So because Cold Justice was involved, they spent 9 days exclusively focused on this case and what she called a blitz attack, and were able to put enough evidence together to get him that many years after. And I saw that episode actually, and well done. Most of the time they'll go in and only spend like 7 days. Well, on this one, then they got shit hot on the case, and so they go in and they hear the case and they meet from the cops, and then they meet the family members, and it's this former prosecutor and whatever top cop, retired long-time homicide detective they have, and they work with the local officials. They reconstruct crime scenes and everything else, and just really well done. I wish that I had with all the requests I get on Real Life Real Crime Original, because of the success we've had in solving cold cases. I wish I had the resources these people do to go in and do that. I mean, how many crimes could we solve?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. And the problem a lot of times is I think egos get in the way with law enforcement. Absolutely. And there's some that are great about it. Right. And they want all the help they can get. And there's some that, hey, this is our case and we want to work it. And it almost becomes an issue with sharing information, right?
It's so stupid, and I never agreed with that.
Well, your guy in the Courtney Coco case.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the ones that work with me, they still have guys that are inside that don't. That it was their shit, and they don't want you solving it. Whatever. Yeah. To me, it's not about who solved it.
That's right.
Solving it.
That's right. It's about justice for the family of whoever. So. More than 200 pounds of suspected cocaine has been found in a vehicle in Mobile, Alabama. Look, and we just did a story where they had some cocaine wash up on a beach.
Yeah, that was
it's part of the same coke.
I don't know about that, but I know that area is that's on the way to Florida, right? So it's on the way coming from and going to.
But it used to be back in the day. It all came into Miami. They shut that down and started coming to Texas. Now they're attempting to shut that down more. So the Gulf Coast, Alabama, Mississippi, et cetera, is easier access. It's less washed.
Yeah.
So and Mobile is Mobile Bay. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, that I-10 corridor right there is notorious for it. So the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, with the assistance of the Border Patrol, arrested 2 women suspected of cocaine trafficking. Melissa Dufour of Florida and Raquel Antinola of California were arrested Thursday morning on eastbound I-10 in Mobile County. The sheriff's office said the 2 women were giving conflicting stories about what their travel plans were, which resulted in narcotics dogs being deployed and giving a positive alert. They searched a vehicle and discovered several hidden traps in the floorboard and the sidewalls that contained more than 217 pounds of cocaine.
That's crazy.
Both were taken to the Mobile County Metro Jail and obviously charged with trafficking cocaine. The estimated street value, in case you're curious, $2.1 million.
That's before he stepped on him with fentanyl.
Yeah.
Now I got a question.
200 pounds for
200 pounds is 100 and some kilos. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And my question, I guess, for you, Woody, would be what at this point, so that, the sheriff's office, I guess, has $2.1 million worth of cocaine. What do they
They take it. They're taking.
What do they do with it?
They take it and they store it, and that's a very good point. They take it and they store it, and they have to take samples from each one of the things and send it to the lab independently, cut, and then until the trial happens, until it's adjudicated and they get locked up, that 200 pounds of cocaine is sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
And then they'll just destroy it.
Yeah, they burn it.
Flush it down the toilet.
No.
They won't go resell it?
Christmas party?
Yeah.
Company Christmas party?
Yeah.
Was that just a random stop?
Yeah, well, they say it's random. Those guys are working interdiction. They had the Border Patrol with them and everything else. There's a lot. I won't even tell you about that but they know. And the largest one I was ever involved in was 54 kilos, which was 108 pounds of cocaine. But they knew when this vehicle was leaving wherever. And
that's a lot.
So when you see them,
so they were on them. They were on them the
when
whole
you
way.
see them stacked up on the interstate like that, like where you got your ticket at, that guy was writing tickets, right? They got guys out there that are working what they call interdiction, and they're looking for certain vehicles. They have, I'm not going to tell you what they have, information from. We'll say almost like military installations that do nothing but collect information on potential vehicles that are coming and people that are trafficking, and they sit out there all day long, all night long, waiting for these vehicles to pass.
Wow.
So there's more than that, but they're not going to give you their tips, and I'm not going to give them to you either. Yeah. But I'll tell you about some more cocaine if y'all want to hear about it.
Sure.
And Sonic Restaurant, y'all.
You're going to tell us about cocaine at Sonic Restaurant. Okay.
This is beautiful. Listen to this chef. I don't even eat fast food, but if I do, I don't mind Sonic, right? Because usually the service is pretty good. And we did a story a couple weeks ago where the Sonic employee shot the dude, or they got in a fist fight and fight and all that. But in Espanola, New Mexico, there was this guy working in, he served Celine Gonzalez a hot dog. And on the hot dog was a bag of cocaine.
Hey.
Right? And so
in lieu of the peppermint.
She was about to eat it. She's about to eat it. She's getting that foot-long coney, right? She's pulling it out of the thing. She's getting ready to eat it, and there's a bag of cocaine. So cops were called, and they reviewed the video footage from inside of Sonic. And there's a 54-year-old employee, David Salazar. 54. And the footage showed him frantically searching for something he lost right after he.
Well, he could have just dropped a fry.
Right after he filled her order. I guess he went to get him a toot after he filled that foot long. And how in the fuck do you drop your bag of cocaine in somebody's hot dog? Might be one of the stupidest things we ever heard. And of course, his ass went to jail. So y'all. Look at your shit.
That could have had some banjos accompanying that one for sure.
Right? Yeah, it should be. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. And all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now,
they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes, plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. A good story.
You guys Jerry Maguire fans? Do you like the Jerry Maguire movie?
Yes. Show me the money. Yeah, I'm Jerry Maguire because I'm the guy in the movie because I air dry. Remember in his locker room, he's like, dude, can you cover yourself up? I said, no, bro, I'm air drying. I'm just teasing. I don't air dry.
Okay.
I air dry.
I try to air dry.
You remember the actor who said, show me the money?
Yeah, Tom Cruise? No, it's Cuba Gooding Jr. That's the guy I was talking about saying air dry. Yeah, but Cuba's got some history here in Baton Rouge.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. Not good.
He's got some history in a lot of places. Yeah, when Boys in the Hood was a legendary movie, and
Boys in the Hood,
and he was great.
And talking that trash will pull your car.
No, nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit.
He was great in the movie.
Yes, he was.
And between those two movies, you have an image of the guy.
Where he was the Navy diver. The first black Navy diver. And De Niro was his diving sergeant. Another good movie.
What was I forget the name of that?
It wasn't a few good movies.
He played an autistic guy in a movie, Radio.
See, he used to do good shit. Then he got off on a bender. I'm telling you, I know some shit about him. What happened in Baton Rouge never came to light. And it was him film when he was filming. I'm like, how in the fuck does this guy do that? And then he got away with it.
Well, so I actually was in a bar, not with him, but in a bar with a group of people in Los Angeles on Sunset. And he was there with a different group of people. And just watching him in that environment, you don't have to watch for long to know that the image that you had in your head of the guy is not so.
He's kind of like Nicolas Cage. He went down.
He's in a good bit of trouble.
All right, what did he do?
Well, there are 3 women who claim that he sexually abused them, including one who's upset that she never got her day in court when Gooding resolved criminal charges without trial or jail time back in 2013. Okay. Judge Paul A. Crotty said that allegations by the woman were relevant for a jury deciding if the Oscar-winning Jerry Maguire star raped a woman in a Manhattan hotel room after they met at a bar. He said the claims by the women who can testify are sufficiently similar to the claims of this woman, and so they didn't allow her to testify at that point. But in that case, he got off with no jail time and no actual trial. He agreed to do some community service and stuff like that. He got star treatment, basically.
Right.
Lawyers for Gooding, who they refer to as a #MeToo defendant in multiple courts, have said Gooding had consensual sex with the woman who accused him of rape after they met in the VIP lounge of a Greenwich Village restaurant, and she joined him at a nearby hotel bar, agreeing to proceed to his hotel room so the actor could change his clothing. Kelsey Harbert said in tears that after Gooding pled guilty last year, that never getting her day in court was more disappointing than words can possibly say. She told police Gooding fondled her without her consent at the Magic Hour rooftop bar and lounge, and the judge allowed the testimony of a 4th woman on the grounds that her proposed testimony that Gooding had groped her breast without her consent in 2011 was so similar to Harbert's expected testimony that it would be, quote, needlessly cumulative and would increase the chance of an improper bias. Now the trial is set to start on Tuesday. Gooding, a star in films including Boys in the Hood, like we just talked about, was permitted to plead guilty in April of 2022 to a misdemeanor, admitting that he forcibly kissed a worker at a New York club in 2018. After staying out of trouble and completing 6 months of alcohol and behavioral counseling, Gooding was permitted to withdraw his guilty plea and instead pleaded guilty to a non-criminal harassment violation, eliminating his criminal record and preventing further penalties.
That's the problem. Still with state police, a friend of mine, he was in town filming a movie, and she met him in the bar, and her words, I wasn't there, that she used the same ruse. Come on, get another bar, I'm going to go to my room and change clothes, and he raped her. And I begged her to bring the charges forth, and she wouldn't, because she was embarrassed. And so think about how many times he's done this everywhere he goes, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, he's gotten away with it a bunch and been able to leverage his fame for soft treatment, and we'll see where this goes.
And his fame, his movies are shit now, too, so don't watch them.
Although Boys in the Hood always.
Yeah. His early shit was great, and then I think he went off the deep end. Like, what?
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
It is Mile High Crime time, Woody. I'm glad you asked. And look, Friday we brought you to Houston's airport, and guess what? We're back at Houston's airport for this episode. Houston got some problems, y'all. Houston Intercontinental Airport runway was briefly closed late last week after the report of a trespasser on the tarmac. Operations at Bush Intercontinental Airport weren't affected despite a response to a reported person trespassing on the tarmac Thursday evening. Houston's airport system said a woman was on runway 15L, one of the 5 serving the airport, causing a closure of the tarmac for at least 15 minutes. The apparent trespasser was taken into custody about 8:40 p.m. that evening. It was not immediately known how the person made it on the tarmac or who the person was, but authorities believe she wasn't a passenger on the flight. Thursday's incident came about 2 months after an unrelated intrusion by a police chase suspect. In that incident, investigators said a man used a box truck to crash through the gates. It wasn't until an airport employee on a luggage trolley helped block the suspect from hitting the airplane.
Wow.
So another Mile High crime happening in Houston back to back, y'all.
Back to back. Mile High.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Right.
Uh-oh. I was hoping it was time for a kinky crime.
Gentlemen, kinky crime time for
Quickly becoming our most popular.
Monday, right?
segment.
This is, I mean, everybody has sex, right? But some people are a little out there.
A little kinkier than others. What do you ever
right? And then this proves it. There is a fetish for everything. Y'all know I'm a fetish expert.
Are you really?
Trained expert.
Feet?
Yeah. I just don't know where that one comes from. But anyway, a Florida man was arrested early Thursday morning, which ended a month-long robbery spree in the Palm Bay area. 35-year-old Christopher Monin was reportedly stopped around 1:30 as a suspicious person because he was riding a bike and carrying a large white bag that was filled. If you could guess this, I'll give you $1 billion. The bag was filled. I was patrolling down south one night, and I saw this dude riding a bike in the middle of nowhere at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's pulling a push mower behind him. and I'm like, I pull up, I say, hey, man, I already know he stole it from somewhere, right? He's a crackhead. And I say, hey, man, what are you doing? Oh, I just borrowed my friend's lawnmower. I said, he said, I'm going to cut some grass. I said, 3:30 in the morning. I said, I got out of the car. I said, all right, give me your glass stick. Give me your crack pipe, because I know you're a fucking crackhead and you ain't no dope dealer because you got lawnmower to go trade. But this guy, 1:30 in the morning, large white bag filled with, give me a guess.
A lawnmower.
No.
I know what it is.
All right, so that wouldn't be fair. All right, y'all, it was filled with deflated pool floats. Right? So apparently over the past 7 months, this guy has broken in around 13 homes and stolen only pool floats. Right? Monin, the bad guy, admitted
used pool floats.
Right. Monin admitted to the robberies and told officers that he keeps the pool floats in a vacant home across the street from his. When officers checked it out, they found nearly 75 floats of all different shapes and sizes, including a duck, a piece of bacon, and even a Shack branded inflatable lounger.
Oh, you got to have that.
Right? And when police, I mean, I've got pool floats, right? But when police asked him.
They're expensive, too.
Right, they are. When police, I like the one with the net thing where you kind of sit down and it has the cup holder, hold your beer. That's fire. So you still.
How about the giant unicorn?
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
A lot of people have that one.
When I was a kid, for Father's Day, we gave my dad the old one. It had the styrofoam arms with the lawn chairs, rough ass shit on it. But anyway, back to Monin. So when police asked Monin why, and he stated that he sexually gratifies himself with the floats, and he does this to keep his sexual aggression down with women. And he's currently facing a ton of charges, y'all. So summertime, lock up.
Whoa. Pool floats.
Pool
the
floats.
hell?
Right? That's kinky shit.
I don't get it.
Kinky.
Like he like just plays with himself while he's laying on a pool float,
He's
or
jacking off on the pool float.
He might like the materials. He might like the designs. There's no
rub them in
time.
between them. I don't
Kinky crimes for Monday. I'm going to.
Now that's a little kinky. Right there.
All right.
I mean, how many pool floats do you need to?
Hey, but you gotta have a little variety.
Remind me not to.
Variety is a spice
go on
of life.
eBay looking for pool floats.
Used pool floats.
I don't want to end up with anything that was in that guy's bag.
All right. So banjo time.
Where the fuck did you find this story, Jim? Wow. Police charged a woman with murder after an argument led to a deadly shooting in Louisville. You know how to spell Louisville?
Yeah. Louisville Slugger, Louisville, Kentucky.
But they call it Louisville.
Let's have one. I say Louisville.
Yeah, but that's, you know.
We haven't fought yet today.
If you're there, you got to go Louisville. It ends in VUL, Louisville.
Louisville.
Okay. I give up. I'm never going to be happier on the way home than I am going to be today. Officers were called after a shooting at a house. Once the officers arrived at the home, they found a man with a gunshot wound who was pronounced dead at the scene. The shooting happened around 7:30 p.m. Zaira A. Ferriolo, age 34, was arrested and charged with 1 count of murder. See, this is Jim's story, and he put the last name in here like 6 times. It's just trying to trip me up on Ferriolo.
Because
you can't trip me up on an Italian name. In an arrest report, investigators said Ferriolo admitted that she went into the man's bedroom with a handgun, magazine, and ammunition. Ferriolo told police that she and the man had gotten into an argument, and the man had hit her with a roll of wrapping paper. I guess it must have been a thick roll and maybe thick paper. So it really pissed her off. Ferriolo also told police that she killed, quote, someone, and clarified that the man did not shoot himself. I don't know. I'm lost. So she got hit with wrapping paper, so she killed the dude.
I guess she thought that was justifiable.
It was dumb.
Definitely dumb.
Dumb as shit.
What a dumb criminal.
Mm-hmm. Lay it on me.
They stole what?
What?
What did they steal, Woody Everton?
I don't know, but it's good.
Pool floats.
Yeah,
that's you're going to love this one. Has anyone seen a 12-foot tall inflatable gorilla rocking it with sunglasses, red shorts, a big smile, and hoisting a car above his head?
I'm pretty sure if I saw that, I'd have to shoot.
There's a lot of those at dealerships, though. You see is that what it was?
Well, you probably haven't seen one just like in someone's garage.
If you have such shitty cars, you got to have a giant gorilla to get attention. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you haven't seen it, neither have the Corpus Christi, Texas police.
In there.
They're on the hunt for one, though. There's someone that stole a massive display from a local car dealership earlier this week. Surveillance footage caught multiple suspects taking the gorilla down, cutting its cords, and carrying off the accompanying air pump Sunday morning between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. from a local Fiat dealership. Fiat dealership at that.
Right.
The gorilla, who does not have a name.
Italian cars. Come on, stop.
The gorilla, who does not have a name, is valued at roughly $10,000. So this is no laughing thing. Yes, 12 and a half feet tall.
We're in the wrong business.
It's like a hot air balloon.
We're in the wrong business.
Yeah, so when asked why someone...
That's an inside job for the insurance. Come on, $10,000. That's 3 Fiats.
When asked, I can't wait to cut all this out. When asked why someone would take time to steal a massive display gorilla, Pace said, that's the $1 million question. Yeah. He said a few years ago, a purple inflatable gorilla was stolen from another dealership in town. Joe Hernandez, the GM of the Fiat dealership, said, "It's crazy. I can't believe how it happened." Pace said it took hours for the gorilla to even deflate. What? So that was the part I was curious about when I read this story. You can't just deflate a 12. I mean, it would take hours, and it sure did.
You can't deflate a pool float without stepping on it a little bit.
Well, they did it. So if you see that gorilla, report them to the police in Corpus Christi.
He may be considered armed.
They stole what?
They stole what? And y'all, I want to lay out a little challenge to the lifers out there. I've done this before on the original Real Life Real Crime. First of all, I want to thank all of y'all for listening and liking and sharing all that. But I want you to go, if you're so inclined, to iTunes or wherever you listen to the podcast and leave a review for Real Life Real Crime Daily. Right?
Yes.
And send us a picture of your review, and we're going to put them all in a hat. I just came up with this a minute ago. And we're going to put them all in a hat, and we're going to draw a winner, or maybe up to 3 winners, depending on how many submissions we get. We will draw a winner, and we'll read your review on the air, and we'll send you a swag bag.
There you go.
Yeah, sound good?
Yeah, sound good.
Mike, you good with that?
Sure.
All right. So, because y'all liking and sharing and listening, and everybody loves it. We never knew this show, my brothers, would be such a success, and we're blessed to be able to do it and bring it to you 4 days a week. Let the rest of the world know what you like about it.
That's right. That's right.
So,
and until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Ago. No, I'm sorry.
I'm pricing out large inflatables as we speak. They're expensive as hell.
Yeah. I told you we're in the wrong business. And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily, peace.
Shabusiness.